Hello, I'm Juan Jose Briones. The biggest challenge physically would be just finding the right hairstyle for me. When you have a receding hairline, it's like a comb over or a faux hawk, and you don't want to just have that same hairstyle your whole life. And emotionally, the biggest challenge would be just looking in the mirror and not looking how the age that you feel, or looking as good as you feel. You can go to the gym, you can feel good, and you look in the mirror like, I don't feel like I look as young as I feel. And that could always be a challenge. It definitely affected my self-confidence because it always made me feel when I looked in the mirror that I looked older than I really was. And that's always an insecurity you carry with you. You never want to look older than you feel or than you are. No one really wants to feel that or look that way. You get tired of looking in the mirror and tearing yourself apart. And when an opportunity presented itself and Dr. Parisi and his staff reached out, I just felt like I didn't want to doubt myself anymore. I was tired of tearing myself apart. I finally wanted to do something where I felt like, okay, this could work. And anytime you're trying to attack an insecurity or just tackle an insecurity you've been carrying with you, it's tough. But to have an opportunity come up with Dr. Parisi and his amazing staff, I knew I just had to do it. The staff is fantastic. They made me feel so welcome. And I wasn't the only one, that going through this procedure, but they made me feel like I was the only one. They made me feel like the follow-up, they made me feel like I was at home. And that's always a good feeling whenever you're going through something as important even if it's a minor surgery. It feels good to look in the mirror and actually look how I feel and be happy with my hair. I've had a receding hairline since I was in 8th grade. I'm 40 years old now, and to feel like I'm no longer carrying that insecurity, such a big weight lifted off my shoulders. And when you have this insecurity lifted off your shoulders, you just feel better every day. The first 2 months, you're like, is it growing? Is it not? Is this gonna work? Plus I had to wear a hat for work, so that was always a challenge as well. But I would say 3.5 months into it, you start seeing your hairs grow and they're starting to stick and they're getting longer instead of falling off. And you're like, this is actually working. And that is the greatest feeling, honestly. My confidence has changed a lot because there's no longer an insecurity of how I look. It also has changed because I'm able to test, even just 5 months in, just test different hairstyles. And that always feels good. Sometimes you feel like life has taken away years from you because of your hair. And to know that there's things out there and procedures out there to have you gain those years back, it's a really great gift. The experience has been positive. From day one of consultation to literally today, the constant follow-up. Sometimes you go through a surgery or a procedure and it's like you don't hear from anyone and you're like, okay, was I forgotten about? And this staff hasn't made me feel that way. There was more than myself doing this procedure, and like I said, they made me feel like I was the only one in the room or I was the only one to get this procedure done, and that's such a great feeling when you feel that important. You definitely don't want to live life with regrets, and life throws so many curveballs at you, and there's some curveballs you can hit and some curveballs you can't. But take it from me, this is a curveball you can hit. And get those years that the life took from you, get those years back. Do your research and really self-reflect how much you really want it. This procedure isn't always the easiest. It takes a lot of patience. But if you really want it and you want to feel good and you want to gain confidence, I 100% recommend to do it. You're gonna feel better.